I really should, like, in all of my videos, I should put a warning in the beginning, like, I give crappy synopsises, so sorry. Hey guys, so I have a monthly wrap up for you where I'm just going to talk about the books that I read in March. I was kind of in a reading slump for about a week there, which is really funny because you would not be able to tell that by the amount of books that I read. I ended up reading 10 books this month, which is actually more than I've read in a while, but I was in a reading slump and it's just kind of weird how it turned out. But anyways, first book is A Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. The synopsis that I'm going to give about this book I'm sure will be terrible. I'm just warning you because it's kind of a hard book to explain, but I'm going to do my best. So this book is about a girl named Karou who finds herself mixed in with this world of creatures called Chimera, and she doesn't really know her place in this world. She just knows that she grew up in it and she's a human, but she's in the midst of all these creatures, so she doesn't really understand, and there's a lot of secrets that are being kept from her. But this book is about her finding out that maybe she really is a part of this world and she may not be human after all. And one of the main things I love about the story is how original and creative this story really is. This isn't really like anything else that I have ever read, so that's really cool. And I really did enjoy this book. I enjoyed the writing style. I thought it was very beautiful, and like I said, the storyline was great. So the only minor complaint that I have is that the writing style was very descriptive and it was almost to a fault because it made for a little bit of boring sections in this book. I would find my mind wandering easily in certain areas, not through the whole book, but it did happen a little often. So that is my downfall, but other than that, I would still recommend this book just to try it for yourself. It's great. So yeah, 4 stars. Then I read New Moon by Stephenie Meyer, and this is of course the sequel to Twilight. I can't give a synopsis for that reason, but I'm pretty sure you all know what it's about at this point. This book was okay. I gave it 3 stars. That's also what I gave the first book, so I kind of just feel like this series is okay for me. I think the main reason that I don't like it as much as everyone else is I feel like everyone has some sort of sentimental attachment to this series. Maybe it was their first paranormal romance, it was the series that got them into reading, I don't know, whatever the case may be. I don't have that attachment to this series at all. I read the first book when it came out and I remember liking it, but I didn't love it. It is a good story and I can see why people enjoy it. But I just can't stand Bella, the main character. She drives me nuts and pretty much everything she does makes me want to smack her. So of course that affects my view on the book because if you don't like the main character, it's hard to enjoy what you're reading. But I don't hate the series, I really don't, and I do want to see what happens. I just don't love it like everyone else does. Next, I read Impossible by Nancy Werlin. I don't even want to spend a lot of time on this book because I didn't like it, and I don't really like to say bad things about books, but of course I'm going to be honest. This book is about a family who has a curse on them that all of the girls will get pregnant by the time they're 16, I believe, and they have to complete 3 tasks before they have their child or else they will become insane. Something like that. While I was reading it, I was really interested and I actually read this in 2 days, which is pretty good. But it was like after I put the book down, the more I thought about it, the more I realized it just wasn't that great. I feel like the character development, the romance, just everything was lacking a little bit. And I hate to say that, but it is what it is for me. So I would not recommend this, I don't think. So yeah, moving on. Next, I read The Timekeeper by Mitch Albom, and I will put a picture here because I had to take it back to the library. I just love Mitch Albom's stuff. I love his writing, so of course I loved this book. This is his newest work, and it did not disappoint. This book is about Father Time and how time got started, and then it comes to modern day, and Father Time has to help 2 different people with their issues. That sounds really like weird, but it really is such a great book. Then I read The Last Lecture by Randy Pausch, and this book was phenomenal. If you watched my monthly favorites video for March, you know that this was my favorite book of the month. I absolutely loved it. This book is about a man named Randy Pausch who was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and he was a college professor and he decided to give his last lecture. This book is about that last lecture, but it's also about his life in his last few months that he was given to live. And it sounds like a depressing subject, but I promise you this book does not have that vibe about it at all. It is very inspirational. It's wonderful in every way. So I really encourage you guys to pick up this book, and I'm going to stop talking about it now because I could go on forever.